recorder.
Not the recorder.
Boys and girls, Brian Porter is on your video screen. I've got the whole Full Throttle team sitting around a condo, it looks like. Boys, how are you, Brian?
Doing really well.
You look like it's 8:10, and you look like you're coming in from the cold, huh? You going to bed or what?
I'm getting ready for bed. Pretty sleepy.
Brian, when we talked a few months back about going to this Worlds, you emphasized about that you're not such a spring chicken anymore, and this do you feel a little bit beat up after what, 5 days now racing in Corpus Christi?
I feel great. It hasn't been too bad. It's interesting. I've got all these young guys on my boat here, and it's a little bit different. I got some young guys on the boat, and they're working hard and do all the boat work. It's kind of nice.
Do they hike as hard as your older crew usually does?
Listen, come on. Does anybody hike as hard as the Admiral?
All right. So, Brian, you're not going
to lay that trip on me.
You have finished. I'd say you have been in this position in a few World Championships. The bridesmaid and really fighting hard for that second place spot. What do you think about the end of this regatta with you and the Hedgehog boys?
You know what? It's just been great sailing. They're really good. We haven't really duked it out with them much. It's such a open race course. And it's all about just getting a clean lane and getting your boat rolling. It's such a boat speed game. You can never be hung up on another boat out here. And even tomorrow, I know that they're the closest to us, but I'm just planning on going out and doing the same thing I've been doing, which is try to create space on the starting line and get my boat rolling. Extending off the start has been good so far. Today they started under me and they were over the line and got forced right and wound up winning the race. They not only got forced right the first beat and got into it, but the second beat, we were the most right boat and kind of tacked when the thing first started to shift. And they went behind us by a few boat lengths, and all of a sudden there was a 10 boat length swing, but you couldn't see it. And maybe with more time here, you'd know that was coming. But based on all the racing we've done, it was, sometimes the left gate paid, and you'd extend a little bit, but really you wanted to get to the left at the top end of the race course every race up till now. And they nailed it. They sailed a great race, and they did the jibe set and kicked butt in the shift, on port jibe, exiting the mark. They just sailed really well, but this is not the kind of race course where you can screw around with anybody because you slow down at all, man. It's big distance. You cannot slow down.
Has it been a little bit how has your learning curve been with driving upwind in these waves that can be so gnarly?
It's been okay. I've learned a lot. Fortunately, we're on pace pretty quickly with that. But it was interesting. We saw a real difference from, when it went to from 14 to 16 to 16 to 18 or 20, there's definitely a change there in the setup. And so I had a couple times where I definitely felt like I was suffering in that little step. today I felt like we were going really fast all day. And we were winning that last race at the first leeward mark. We were second at the top and sailed a really good run to get the lead. And we did go to the correct gate. Unfortunately, we tacked out of the right a little bit early. And it cost us. We would have won the race easy if we had extended another 45 seconds per minute. Anyway, to answer your question, there's been a little bit of a learning curve. Going with the chop on starboard tack is really hard.
Yeah.
Port tack's pretty easy.
Yeah.
Starboard tack, it's all about the speed build into that big chop is very difficult.
Yeah. Well, Brian, obviously you're doing a nice job of it. Hey, hush up, dogs. Is Sam there? Can you poke him on here for a second?
He's right here.
Sam, pop your face in front of you.
What's happening? How's it going?
Big Sammy Rogers. How are you, brother? Check out Sam's website, 42marine.com. Sam doing a great job wrapping up the daily reports. Dude, what about you? I mean, you got a couple of old guys there next to you, but what about you? How are you hanging up there in this nasty chop hiking over the rail?
Well, I just was thinking about it a little bit today. This is probably the most, I think, physically abusive regatta that I've had, and probably my body's probably the most worn down that it has been. And it's just funny, each day you start out racing and you can hang on a little bit less each day before your body starts to fall apart upwind. And I think about 2 minutes into the first upwind today, after the first start, you could already start feeling the pain, and you just knew it was going to be a long day. But we're literally ticking off the upwind, so we've got 4 more upwinds to go, and then we can get on a plane ride home. So
ice down.
It's been a long week.
Ice down your hips.
Some real, hips and lower back and shoulders and legs, everything's going. So it's been some really fun racing, and like Brian said, when you get up at the top, it's a full-on street fight. So it's been good. Sam,
what special boat handling challenges does the? I mean, and I guess I don't even know that I'm really asking the right question, because you really haven't had, maybe until today, any real Corpus breeze. I mean, the last time I was there, it was 22 by 10:30 in the morning, and 28 by 2:30. You guys haven't even really seen that. But what about Corpus has been your special challenges, like in terms of boat handling?
Gosh, well, the starboard tack is definitely a little bit of a challenge. You just, the team takes a little bit of a beating on that, just because you are pounding into the chop a little bit more. Then the big thing is really on the sets is making sure you get a really snappy set, get the kite filled, and get out of there fast, because the first top mark, there's literally 12 boats running the mark at the same time, and if you don't have a good set, you just kind of get stuck in the grips of the fleet. And if you can have a good set and get out of there, it's a huge difference between having a race that's very civilized compared to a really stressful race. So the sets are big, and then the jibes, finding the right time to jibe and making sure that the jibes you're going full speed when you're turning the boat and going, and getting out of it fast. So it's like you said, we haven't seen the nuclear conditions that were kind of promised to us, and that's been a little bit of a bummer. Every day everyone's kind of talking about how maybe today's the day where we're going to see the 20 to 25 and maybe touch 20 today, but it's still been pretty fun sailing.
It's funny because of all the all the sort of sacrifices that the class took to have this event in Corpus for the breeze that everyone said they wanted, and that really consistent breeze, and it didn't even really show. So maybe you'll get a little bit of it tomorrow, but I think there's maybe a lesson in that too, about picking your big events. Where would you like to see? Where would you like to see the next World Championship on the Melges 24 class in America be held?
Geez, I think San Francisco, I think, is going to be a great one. Hopefully, we can get a good turnout for that. But Newport's always a great spot, and it always seems when you're in South Florida and the Miami area, that's great sailing down there as well. It's not maybe nuclear all all the time, but it's certainly a great place. I think a lot of it too is you got to make it family friendly for people, because a lot of people are taking a lot of time off, and if you can get it where it can be more of a family friendly venue and that sort of thing, I think that would be good. So Newport or Miami, I think, would be a lot of fun.
You don't think Corpus Christi is family friendly?
We've come to like it. We've found some good little spots. The surf club's a fun spot, and we've had a lot of fun. Whether your family could come and hang out for a couple of days would be a different thing, but it's definitely a fun spot.
Any sailors been thrown out of the surf club yet?
Not that I've seen. We hit it pretty hard earlier in the week, and now normally we'd be maybe going to grab an after dinner beer or something like that, but later on in the week, now all we're thinking about is bed at around 8 o'clock. So.
Old men. Well, you got to hold on there. You got 2-point lead on Alec and.
Hey, listen, I'm not old. What are you talking about? I'm young.
You know what? You're fit at least, and that counts for something.
Yeah. Right.
Well, boys, good luck and hang on there just in front of Alec and Curtis and the old Larson boys who won a Worlds up in Annapolis, who are just right on your ass. But I think you've got it. Especially, it's supposed to be more breeze tomorrow, Brian.
I don't know what it's going to be. I think it's going to be more of the same. It'd be nice if we had one nuke. But I don't know if we're going to get it or not.
Be careful what you wish for. You never know what turns on that switch there. We'll pray for 30 for you.
Yeah, well, that's always good. But it's been great sailing either way. This is a really nice race course. I've had a fantastic time. But I wonder where you are. I've missed you. Why aren't you down here?
I had other stuff to do, man. I came, but I had to get back here and deal with some stuff in Charleston, and now I got to be in Detroit. So I've been following every minute that I can, though, and I'm bummed that I couldn't be here. But next time, in San Francisco, we'll have fun.
All right, sounds good, Alan. Always good talking to you.
Hey, good luck, and keep your head out there in front, and go see if you can take one away from Federico and those boys. All right?
Well, we need a little miracle for that, but you never know. I've had worse things happen.
Gentlemen, get some sleep. Good night. Good luck.
Yeah.
Good night, Clayne.
Thanks, Sammy.